So welcome. So let's have a look what fairy blessings and aspects are needed in this coming week of the 1st of February. A new month, a fantastic month with Valentine's Day ahead. And let's see what we need to know. Okay. So the first aspect today is going to be a blessing from Queen Mab. Now, if you understand that all queens are like male and female at the same time, so what we sing here is this abundance of thoughts going within. So what is it that we need to be reminded of? That we need to go within. We need to rule our heart and rule our mind. Sometimes confusion can happen, but when we spread our wings and really allow our aura to touch other people in a golden light, in a healing light, we can learn to let go of certain things. Now, a blessing from Queen Mab is very special because it's going to allow you to go within to release what you don't need. So at this time, just let it go and see your emotions a lot clearer. This is what the Queen Mab has in store for yourself in the first part of the week. So if we understand that Mercury is retrograde, so a lot of these technologies, communications may be a little bit slow. But if you're holding on to something that you don't need, it's best to let it go, honestly, because if you're holding on to certain things, thought processes or whatever, you're going to really clog your emotions up in a stagnant way. And the next card we have is a blessing of the Unsealing. Now this again is showing you this week that you're not very trusting of other people. So that is one of the aspects that perhaps needs to be let go of. The Unsealing do not trust humans, and rightly so sometimes. But we must learn to trust ourselves and believe that our higher power is keeping us safe. So for the Unsealing, they don't trust. And somewhere within yourself, perhaps this week, you're not fully understanding that trust comes from within. And if you believe in that like attracts like, when you trust yourself, you are going to attract trustworthy people to you. So it's just a reminder today that the Unsealing is going to give you that blessing to trust yourself, because they trust themselves wholly. It's just that they don't trust other people. So it's a difficult situation, because if they do trust themselves, surely they should trust humans, but it doesn't work out that way, because humans are a different species than a fairy. So the element of fairy is to bring about a sense of unconditional aspiration. And they're there to protect the planet. And they know full well humans do not do that. So they have to keep protecting. So it's just like this particular person, Queen Mab, how she's reminding you to let things go. The blessing from the Unsealing is saying, if you let certain things diminish, then what's left is a purity. So these two people here, the fairies, are just reminding of you to extinguish those thoughts that do not serve. It's very important message, because what is left is the purity of love and understanding of all species. So let's see, moving on, what message we need. So the next message is a blessing from the White Heart. So it does show here with the White Heart that you are beginning to trust yourself. You are beginning to have that purity. You can see the fairy's wings are very tiny. So her aura hasn't grown significantly, but she is in those stepping stones of spiritual enlightenment. So they're beginning to actually see that for themselves. So you see, reflecting in the winter, because the tree is all wintry here, then this is a good time to reflect within what you are going to release. So maybe thoughts of, oh, they're not going to call, or I'm not good enough. All these self-worth ideas need to be expressed to learn to accept yourself and trust. The white heart is reminding you today that you are a spiritual being and you deserve love on a greater scale. Moving on to the rest of the week. That's a good little story, this, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. The rest of the week for you is a blessing of clear foresight. Well, this is showing quite clearly within your crystal ball here, and this huge big star, that you can have hope in your future. Again, the wings are very small, so you're still learning to grow, but this intuitive side. So once you've released the pain and the struggle and the strife of your thoughts that you're not good enough or the situation isn't going to come, now you're using your clear foresight. So perhaps you could do that today even. Learn to let go, even write things that you don't want in your life, and then write a page of what you do want. This is a good exercise for yourself. There's a lot of emotion here and there's a lot of hope. So this whole fairy is saying use your own insights to actually know what's going on within your life. And that rest period with the other card is really good to reflect that. You see the little creature here is saying, look, here it is, offering spiritual enlightenment, offering these thoughts and feelings that you can actually have. So there's a lot of hope in this card. Learning to release and trust, and then learning to bring down your own individual messages is a blessing indeed. Moving on to the next blessing. So everything takes time when our life has been knocked all over the place. So the next blessing for you is a blessing of liminal space. Now this is really good. So to have the space and the time to reflect, to have the space and the time to bring down your intuitive side and bring down your higher sense of self is very, very important. So on this moon phase and with Mercury retrograde, communication may not be flowing as quickly as it should do. However, it is giving you that space. So this is a very precious time where the liminal part of the universe is more in tune with who they are, is more in tune with spirituality, to bring down your essence of your higher self. So picture this indigo purple very carefully, and while you're doing that, focus on your third eye, which is in between your brow, and really just breathe into that space and you will connect to the liminal space. So find your intuitive path today, this week, and see what happens. You'll be quite amazed that you will find your own realizations about your life, but you don't have to be caught up in emotions. Right, let's do the last cut blessing of the week from these beautiful fairies. So we have for you a blessing from the ever young. Now this is exactly what we need, because if you renew yourself every single day, you are forever young. So this is why it's important to go into the intuitive side of yourself to know what part of the journey you're actually on. Even though our souls are very old, even though we can see with vision from our higher self what we need to know in the forthcoming months, weeks, etc., we're forever young in our belief system, in who we are. It's on the physical way we are forever young. You're always regenerating. We can have different ideas, different thoughts, different emotions, and they can begin. So when this fairy is blessing you. She's huge. She's in nature. And that's the very essence of how we see ourselves. We have to go into nature. We have to look at the renewal system that is there. Nature is very small. We have day flowers, day butterflies, all things that only last a day. The fulfillment of a day is very special. But when we have a young thought, and especially if we use the heart one, a blessing from the white heart, that is starting on your spiritual journey in a very forever young manner. So put purity, innocence, and all those kind of things into your week, and honestly, you are going to be very blessed in the outcome. A lot of things in nature are also very old. The wisdom of the old tree, it taps into the very essence of the earth, and it sends out energy and oxygen into the air, and that oxygen is absolutely everywhere. So this is forever young, renewing the cycles. However, it's like, what the message of this week is, what are you going to release that is blocking you and stopping you from being forever young and tapping into your spiritual quest for a higher, deeper fulfillment of your week. So thank you for listening, and I really hope you can be forever young in your inspiration, forever young into your quest for the fullness of life that life can bring to you. Thank you, blessings. Thank you, fairies, and thank you for listening. Lots of love.